I'm Kate. I'm the Director of Organizing at Girls for Gender Equity.
Hi, I'm Nefertiti, and I'm the Community Organizer at Girls for Gender Equity, and I was also a young person in our Sisters in Strength Youth Organizing program. So, yeah.
Just to give you a little information about us, so we're an intergenerational grassroots organization. We're based in Brooklyn, but we work citywide. We have a program called Sisters in Strength, which Nefertiti facilitates and was a part of. It's a youth organizing internship for young women of color entering 10th or 11th grade. And they really drive a lot of our organizing efforts. A lot of issues that we work with are transforming the school system, so we'll work with around sexual harassment in schools and the impact that has on young people, and what schools can do and what communities can do to address it and ensure that everyone can attend school and live up to their full potential and live a life without barriers.
So, what we're gonna do, so I just wanna affirm the stories that the both of you just told, because I feel like it's really, like, sexual harassment is really normalized in our society, and it, happens rampantly in school, yet the schools do have policies that are supposed to be in place to protect students and actually prevent those things from happening. But what we see happening down the pipeline is that information is getting lost in translation. So they'll have Title IX. Does everyone know what Title IX is? So Title IX of the Educational Amendment of 1972 to the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits sexual harassment on school grounds. That's one point of Title IX. It also it's supposed to ensure gender equitable education for all students. So if there is career and technical education happening for boys, it should be happening for girls. If there are sports happening for boys, there should be sports for girls. And it also encompasses the rights of pregnant and parenting teens. But really, really importantly, it's supposed to be protecting young people from experiencing sexual harassment and then having a protocol to address when a young person is experiencing sexual harassment. So what I want to share with you right now is what we co-developed with the New York Civil Liberties Union, which is another advocacy organization who works with lawyers. And it's this is a guide to Title IX in schools. Has anyone also heard of the discipline code? Yeah. Do you want to say what the discipline code is?
The discipline code is put in place so that, you tell it.
So the discipline code is this blue book that's supposed to be updated every year. That goes from K to 12, and it tells you about the different infractions, or so if a young person comes to school with a weapon or sexually harasses someone under, I believe, A21, that's one of the codes, then this is the different protocol that's supposed to take place. The flip side of the discipline code is that on the back of it, it also outlines students' rights. So, and a lot of people overlook that piece. So, what you have in your hand right now is our iteration of Title IX and aspects of the discipline code that specifically look at sexual harassment and what is supposed to happen if a student experiences sexual harassment in school. So whether it be mostly it's outlined as student to student, but also if it happens from a teacher or a school administrator. Has anyone heard of the Title IX coordinator? So the Title IX coordinator is a person that is mandated to receive reports of sexual harassment in school. So over in 2010, we launched a campaign called the Title IX Letter Writing Campaign, which was about finding out who is the Title IX coordinator in schools in New York City. So federally, New York City, we're looked at as one district. There's 1,700 schools, and we're looked at as one district, and we have one Title IX coordinator, which means there's only one person. Her name is Victoria. We can give you her number.
It's on the website.
It's on the website. It's on the DOE website, and she's supposed to receive reports of sexual harassment. She's the person. So also in schools, teachers, they're supposed to be people mandated to receive the report, give the report to her, and that sort of thing. And we know that's not happening. We also know that her identity is supposed to be known, throughout the school community. Everybody, in the same way that people know who the parent coordinator is or the principal. People should know this, and we know that people don't. When we did our campaign, we called about 200 schools, and about 10 could actually say who the Title IX coordinator was. And these are schools in 4 out of the 5 boroughs in New York City. And this is from K to, from elementary school to high school. And
Aren't there supposed to be a Title IX coordinator in every school?
they decided that New York City is one district, and that's how they are able to follow the letter of the law, but not the spirit of the law. So they were saying, we have a Title
We
IX
have to
coordinator.
change that.
It's one person. And they also, I feel like with New York City and the Department of Education here, they cut a lot of corners with certain things, especially with their Office of School of Safety and Youth Development. There are folks who are supposed to be trained in the school on how to receive reports of sexual harassment and how to identify sexual harassment in school. And they're just like, and when we went to the Department of Education, they were just like, well, we can't mandate people come to our training. So if it is found out that a school is in violation of Title IX, funding can be cut from the school. So how do you not enforce a policy that you created?
You just mentioned identifying what sexual harassment is. Again, I think there's a misuse and an abuse of it. Again, because my son in kindergarten, horse playing, but in the nature of things, he watched some DVD, was influenced by a character, gave a little girl a wedgie, and was suspended for a form of inappropriate touch. And the nature of it wasn't one in which, I guess his mind wasn't perverted, or exposed in some nature where, and even in our home, environment, he wasn't taught that. So, I can say even as a parent, maybe at some sort of fault that maybe I'm kind of teaching my kids something wrong, like we're playing that away and then he took it out of the house. That wasn't it. When I knew I didn't play like that and I asked him, I didn't realize he got it from there, but I tried to ask them to modify that disciplinary or how it was recorded because of the way they suspended him and how they recorded the nature of it. I didn't agree with it again because when you talk about sexual harassment versus, inappropriate touch, kindergartners, again, awareness of and what would be, how they would be a little bit more.
So you're speaking exactly to the issue of having a discipline code that is supposed to speak to young people from ages like 4 or 5 to 18 or 21 in some cases, right? So with the discipline code, they have infractions and they describe it at each level. So like if you are in kindergarten, what is supposed to happen? With the infraction, they list the different methods of discipline and the different ways that a young person can be disciplined.
They suspended him.
Exactly, and usually, and that's part of the work that we're doing right now is to address the harsh discipline.